Okay, so today is, what is it, March 21st. It's 7:05, and this is the meeting of the Hubbardston Parks Commission. We will do a roll call. Sandra Berry here.
Eric and Boris here.
Jason Girton here.
Brian Matheson here.
And Dave Sacramone is here as well, but his microphone is not working, but he is communicating through the chat box. So, so how is everyone doing? Happy New Year. We haven't met, I think, since last year. So that's good. Everyone made it through the winter.
Yay.
Yay. All right, so moving right to the agenda. So I don't think we have minutes from last time. So we're gonna table that till our next meeting. So obviously it's that time of year when we reopen the park, and we usually reopen the park the middle of April, which is usually around the 15th, probably the 11th, I would say we would open the park, or maybe the 18th. Does anyone know when school vacation is? We usually it's kind of coordinated with that week.
I think it's the third week in April, right? Does that sound right?
The
Whatever
18th?
that holiday is usually the start of it. That Monday
Oh, you
holiday.
mean
It's the 18th
Patriots
to the
Day?
22nd.
okay.
Yep.
So we'll at least make sure the park is open that week. And really all we do to kind of open the park is to get the porta potties there, and that's it, and kind of go through and make sure that, you know, it's clean. Although the Keep Hubbardston Beautiful, they usually do a big thing on Earth Day, which is that Friday. Whether they'll do it the weekend before, I'm not sure. I'm not sure when they're doing it. But
This is the 22nd.
22nd, yeah.
Yeah, that's my son's birthday.
Oh, nice.
It's gonna be 16.
Wow, 16. Good for you. Actually, the weekend before is Easter, so I'm not sure if they'll do it the weekend before or not. So a couple things we need to talk about opening the park is porta potties, and I was happy with the company we've been using the last couple of years. Anyone have any issues? I don't know if the costs have gone up, but on that, I thought they did a good job.
Yeah.
Everyone
I think
agree?
that's fine.
Yep, I agree.
I do
Yeah.
know last year they couldn't get a handicap potty for us because there were so many people with COVID using porta potties. So we'll try to get a handicap one and a regular one, like we normally do, and place them where we always do. The other thing we do need to talk about is whether or not we want to have Ultiplay come and put the umbrellas, the shades up over the picnic tables. They did come and take them down last year, but it was they only charged the $75 because they were coming up to replace the one of the panels anyway. So it was a $75 charge. And so they're in my garage. I picked them up. Do we want to just try to put them up ourselves? You know, I'm not sure. Do we want to wait to see if they'll come and pick them up? It doesn't look hard. They showed us, or at least I saw how they did it. They showed me how to do it. It would just probably take a couple of us to do it because it's kind of a big shade.
Yeah, they're a little heavy, right? I mean, it's
like a canvas.
Yeah, just need a ladder and some couple wrenches probably, right?
Actually, I don't even think you need a wrench, because I think, well, you probably do actually, because you have to loosen up the bolts on each of the tab things, but they just kind of go in, and then there's a wire, and then the wire, I think if I recall, twists to make it tight so that they stay on. But it
Yeah.
really didn't look that difficult, and I'm sure we could figure it out, and I'm sure there's a YouTube for it somewhere as well, if we want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, if there's if we think it's easy enough to do it, I don't mind helping out.
yeah, same here.
Okay, so what we probably will need to do is pick a day, maybe pick a day where we want to all meet, and maybe we can, you know, do whatever little things we need to get the park up and running. All right, so The other thing we should probably talk about a little bit is our budget. So right now in our recreational expense budget, we have $206. And we will obviously come July 1st, get our new budget. And we did ask for an increase in our budget to cover maintenance of the park. We'll see if that will fly. But I talked to David today and he said it's been given to the Board of Selectmen, who then passes it to the Finance Committee, who reviews it to decide if there's room in the budget for it, what have you. So I asked them if we should go to the Finance Committee, and he said, yeah, he goes, they'll reach out to you anyways to, you know, ask and get more information as to why you want to increase budget. And so we can either all go there, or I can let you guys know when they contact me and we can go from there.
Is this an increase in the budget, or is this going back to where we were before? Because didn't we give some money back one year?
So we did. So in we used to get $3,200, and Ryan with COVID in 2020 asked if I would go down to $2,500 because he was asking everyone to shorten up their money. Of course, I think at that time, no one knew how much money all these towns were going to get, you know, that the government was helping, you know, to support the towns. So we had discussed it probably 2 meetings ago about asking for $5,000 more with a total budget of $7,500, because we really need to address the trash issue. And again, like we've spoken, is in the past, we had this really good senior work-off guy who did it for years, and 2 years ago he moved away. And so we are kind of relying on DPW to see if they'll do it. I was telling the guys a little earlier that I had a kind of a spontaneous meeting because I ran into Dave and Travis, who were just ending a meeting when I went into town today. And so I sat down and talked to them, and DPW's response was, we don't have time for that. We don't have the manpower for that. So I actually suggested, maybe what if we just put one trash barrel at the, you know, at the opening of the gate, and you know, twice a week you pick it up, you know. And that didn't seem to go, you know, over well with him. I mean, he just wasn't supportive of it. And his whole philosophy was, no, carry in, carry out, and post signs all over the place, and post signs that says, we're gonna shut down the park if you don't cooperate and keep it clean. So I said, well, that's kind of a hard thing to do. How are you going to shut down the playground? You know,
Yeah,
I mean, it's wide open.
That's just not gonna work.
It's not going to work. Yeah. I mean, a few years ago, we did shut down the skate park when it got really dirty, you know, and so, yeah, so I guess maybe, I don't know if this is a decision we have to make, or, but I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think we should do? I mean,
I think it makes sense to figure out a way to keep the park clean. I mean, especially the skate park always seems to have trash, and I don't know if it just feels that way because it's front and center, you know, and there's you know, litter everywhere else, and we just don't see it as easily. But there's definitely a lot up there through the busy months. So what happened to the teenager from Quabbin that was looking to do something?
I haven't heard anything from her in months.
Oh, Chloe, did she just peace out on it?
Yeah.
No.
So far, I mean, as far as I know, because she had talked about coming and cleaning it and painting it, and I haven't heard anything over the winter. Maybe she'll, you know, appear in the next couple of months or what have you, but I'm not sure.
That was her capstone, and when that trimester ended, that class ended, she probably has she's probably not going to come back to us.
Yeah. Likely. So do we need to, like, should we get bids for trash removal? If the, you know, I mean, it's because, like I said, that's we definitely need some trash cans, because I need to get the, you know, a lot of the playground now that it's been rebuilt it's already getting used heavily on nice days. And still not even, well, actually, I guess it's just turned spring yesterday or whatever the first day of spring was, but, and yeah, as Brian was saying, once the skate park kids start using it, they'll just be leaving their bottles and stuff. And then you got the people that walk and just decide to chuck trash up by the bandstand.
Again,
So-
how do you do it though? I mean, number one, you need someone to pick up the trash and put it in the trash can, and then you need someone to remove the trash from the trash cans.
Well, right.
Is the DPW's issue time or expense? Because if we
Time.
were to pay them to, you know what I mean, to pick it up,
It's time.
so it's time. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and basically what he's saying is he has a DPW, but he doesn't have like a parks person to maintain the parks in his DPW crew.
Doesn't the DPW mow the field?
They are gonna
that-
mow the field and they will continue to mow the field. They're saying they don't have time to pick up trash. And my whole thing is, well, like someone can't pick up a can of trash twice a week. I mean, to me, that's not it's a no-brainer, but to him,
Or
it
when they
seems
do
to
the
be a really
field.
big deal.
You throw the trash in the back of the truck.
Yeah, when you mow the field. Yeah. So I
Okay.
guess my
Yeah.
question is, how far do we want to push this? So we are actually on the agenda for the Board of Selectmen on April 11th. And the reason was to talk about this, but I thought it was only fair to get DPW's feelings on it first and see if they were, had any great ideas and or were willing to work together, and that it didn't seem like they have the staffing to do this. So do we go to the Board of Selectmen and like, what, you decide, or you tell DPW they have to pick it up? What else are we gonna do?
Should we have maybe a backup option just to kind of show them what other options that we could have are, like buying those trash compactors so that maybe the trash doesn't have to be picked up quite as often, but
Oh.
maybe one of those machines are probably expensive, but if we're able to source them and say we can put 2 of them in, and maybe it only has to be emptied once a month, maybe it's less time for DPW, but there's an expense to it, a town expense to it.
Right.
Mhm.
Maybe if we go there and if we just go there and put DPW over a barrel and make them do it, they can make them do it, they may half-ass it. Sorry about my language. I'm
Yeah.
recording this.
Okay.
Or they may or they may just give in and do it fine. But I think if we go with options, at least we're not necessarily saying it's just all on DPW to do this, and
Mhm.
that maybe we can make it easier on them.
Yeah,
So
like that.
that's one thing that just pops in my mind is that, like, if you climb Wachusett Mountain, they have those up at the top, they have those trash compactors. And I think you said Berry Falls Dam has trash barrels. They might have a trash compactor over there too. They're solar powered, and they just,
I don't think they're cheap. I think they're
No, I know they're not
pretty
cheap.
expensive. But I mean, I think that is a great long-term vision. You know what I mean? But you have to look at it long-term, depending on the price. But I do think we need other options, whether it's, finding some bids and seeing how much it's going to cost to have somebody pick it up, or going back to a dumpster and trying to find somebody that can dump the trash barrels into the dumpster once a week or twice a week or whatever we think we need. But we need some other option, or we double down on carry in and carry out and see whether or not, people take it to heart. It doesn't feel like they will.
Well,
at least
We already
from
know that's not gonna work.
from a
that's-
skate park standpoint, it doesn't feel that way. But I mean, I don't know if we make that decision or if the Board of Selectmen make that decision. I mean, because it's also what the town looks like when you drive by,
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So I can tell you that some of sorry, is that Dave? That's Dave.
Dave's also back, yeah. I don't know if he
Okay.
has anything to add to the trash talk.
The trash back. There we go. So I mean, I was thinking when Jay was talking about, you know, getting the compactors, I was thinking, well, maybe we could get the bring a dumpster back in, because one of the issues that Travis mentioned was, well, we have to pick up the trash and then we have to drive it back to the yard and we have to dump it and then bring it back, and that's very time consuming for them. So so maybe if we had a dumpster right there, that would be more of an incentive to do that. The only issue, I guess, that we could say is, you know, we don't really have a budget to add a dumpster. Unless we were able to use money out of the trust funds, which you kind of hate to do that.
You remember
But,
how
I mean,
much
that
we were
would be-
paying for a dumpster before?
We had a dumpster before, yeah, and it runs about $250 a month.
250, okay.
Yeah.
And then we dropped it to just the recycling, and that was like 50, right?
50 or something like that. Yeah.
But
It-
that
it
doesn't
was
really
less.
do us any good. We need trash if we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, because I know we've talked about this, but the problem with just having the trash barrel there is, like, you know, people who don't feel like paying for trash will bring their freaking trash bags and just like dump it in there, and then the thing's full. And
Yeah, we need it locked.
yeah, we gotta, and you know,
Dave
maybe
wants you to demote him to
Yeah,
a
yeah,
panelist.
he thinks like I know how to do this. That's the problem. Okay, Dave, what are we gonna do more? Ask to start video.
and I do like, I think the idea of the recycling or the compacting one is good, because you can't get, like, it's got a small opening, so you
Mhm,
bags of trash in there, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, they're expensive though. I mean, I'm just Googling it to try and find out, and
That's what I'm doing as well, and I haven't found a good one yet.
I wonder if we get like state assistance on this. Maybe there's got to be some sort of program we can tap into from Massachusetts, you'd think. Like,
Right.
I can't, you know, entity that's had this sort of issue that's looked for a solution.
mhm. Well, the only other thing we could possibly do is, we did ask for more of a budget to pay someone to maintain the park. So basically we asked for $100 a week, 5,000 extra dollars, so we can actually pay someone to, you know, empty the trash barrels. So that's money we could use. And to be honest, we wouldn't need him for the whole year. So maybe the difference in cost could pay for the dumpster, if we could hire someone to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we it's an option.
I mean, is that something we want to ask the Board of Selectmen about? Was anyone able to find the solar ones?
I found them, but I haven't found a price on them yet.
Yeah, you got a quote. There's one called eCube Labs, eCube Labs solar powered trash compactor, but it looks like it's probably overseas, and I think you have to request a quote. But they hold like 5 times the trash. Then, you know,
Mhm.
it's an expensive option, but it's
I
not.
feel like when I looked at it last time, it was like in the $5,000 range. But
Yeah.
$5,000
Yeah.
wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, that's not terrible. I mean, it's a fairly high expense, but then, you know, then we have it.
Some of these you can even add like solar, like a Wi-Fi router to it, so it can even communicate with somebody, tell you it's full.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing is, so you just hand put the trash in, because we don't want people like putting garbage bags in there.
Right. That's
Right,
right.
yeah.
You could have one that restricts the size of what you can put in it. Otherwise, we've all seen the jerks that just show up and
Mhm.
Yeah.
crash in the thing and, you know, leave. I've watched people do that at, like, you know, Cumbies and anywhere that has a trash barrel out.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that I have, when I've been down there and, because when I walk, I always bring a bag and I'll pick up as much trash as I can. And obviously this time of year, there's not that much there. But people will say to me as they're going, they're like, if there was a place to dump this trash, I would help pick up. So it might encourage people to pick up even other people's trash. So do we want to bring it to the Board of Selectmen of possibly getting like a solar, is that what it's called? A solar
Yeah. Compactor.
compactor?
Yeah, we need to find a real price first, just so that we know what we're dealing with, but I think that's the best scenario.
Dave just said he'll make that motion. I second the motion.
Okay,
All in favor?
and
Hey, buddy, Sandra's running this meeting. Be careful.
Oh,
no,
right,
that's
right.
fine, yeah. So would that be our would that be like our first suggestion, and then a second suggestion would be, a second option would be bringing in a dumpster again?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And we got to make sure that if it's a dumpster, that can be locked and secured. So.
Yeah, and whoever is picking up the trash, if we're able to hire someone to pick up the trash, then they would have that key.
Right.
Okay,
There's a park, I'm not sure exactly where, but the Big Belly trash cans, maybe in New York City, now they look at it. In 2017, they were over $4,000 for one of them. So, I mean, probably in that, that range of
okay,
at least 5, but.
all right. But you know what, that might be money well spent, you know?
Yeah, no, I think it's a long range, thought process versus, just, how do we deal with trash today?
Yeah.
Exactly. I like it.
They're meant to be there, and not just like pull in when the weather gets bad.
Yeah, true, absolutely. All right, so that sounds good. Anything else we want to talk about in regards to that? I mean,
Nope, I think we're good.
I mean, actually, from a funding point of view, there is money still in the trust fund, the community trust fund, the hub, I should say, the rec field trust fund. There's $8,500 in there left. And then in the, but there's another, the Hub Preservation Trust Fund, where the haying money goes. If you know what I'm talking about, from Mount Jeff, there was this.
Oh, yeah.
Established. That fund is up to $15,254. And recreation falls under that category. So that could be discussed as well, like this would be at the rec field. I don't know if it's providing recreation, but it's maintaining recreational fields. So that could be another source of funding if that's their concern, is where's the funding coming from?
True.
So, okay, anything else we need to talk about for that?
I'm just sending a message to these Big Belly people right now. They're in Needham, Mass. So I'm sure they'll contact us and they'll have some information. I can get some information for the meeting.
Oh, great. You know, I was thinking that the kid who designed this solar thing, I thought it was done in Massachusetts. I thought it was a kid who went to MIT or something like that, actually came up with this whole idea. I
Yeah,
remember
might
seeing
be.
something on it a while back. I
Yeah.
mean, a number of years ago, but. Oh, that's great, Dave. Jay, thanks. Okay, do we feel comfortable moving on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that, holy cats, all from hay. Yes, all from hay. That's correct, Dave. Years of hay, and the money has only been used here, there. It's been used only a few times. So moving forward on the agenda, the ice rink. So the ice rink got taken down last week, and then I actually asked DPW if they would grab the liner, and they grabbed it today, so that's all gone.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, and it didn't do much damage. I know I was getting an email from soccer, like, you know, is the grass gonna grow back? They were asking all these questions. And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. Like, you know, soccer will be fine in 2 weeks or whatever.
The grass
So-
hasn't even started to grow yet. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they wanted to make sure that whole area wasn't gonna be killed off with the liner still being there, but it's amazing how quickly grass grows in the springtime.
Sometimes it grows better once that something like that was on it.
Yeah, yeah,
You sometimes see
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I was shocked that there was still ice along the perimeter. There was, it was probably only 2 or 3 inches thick, but it was like 20 feet long. And I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with trying to chop that up and get it off. I'm gonna let this melt over the weekend.
Yep.
So yeah, so that worked out well. Worked out well. The next thing is the Easter egg hunt that's going on. I want to say the 11th of April. I actually had ordered the eggs, and I actually went and picked up candy today, and I gave it to the Girl Scouts because they run that. So that's all done. And that money we always use the rec revolving for that money. And that's money that, you know, like when we do the townwide yard sale, and that's like our only fundraiser that we ever do every year. And last year, I think we got like $200, $250. So we have like $300 in that pot of money. So that will go for that.
nice.
Yeah, we're able to still do it. And so that's good. So the next thing on the agenda is the Board of Selectmen meeting on 4/11, and we already talked about that, and we're going to talk about cleanup in this dumpster. So the compactor, I mean. And then anything else we want to talk about? Old business, new business, anything anyone wants to add, thinks we should do? Oh, I do have something else to talk about. So one of the other things that we need to do is probably put new signs up. And I, in the past, worked with the guy here in town, DFX Graphics, Dan Sobel, I think is his last name. He's done signs for us in the past. So, we definitely need to put, and I think we need to put on every one of the, you know, the bands, not the bandstand, the playground, the basketball court, and the skate park is use at your own risk, you know, just to remove us from liability. Because when we took the old signs down for the playground, all those signs got trashed. So there's no signs up there now that says, you know, you're doing this on your own. So I just thought maybe keep it simple more than anything. You know, I open, you know, dawn to dusk, use at your own risk. For the playground, no animals in the playground, and carry out your trash. So, does anyone think we need to add more? I mean, you can put 1,000 things on there, but people aren't gonna sit there and read it. You know, and then I was thinking maybe on the big gates to enter into the rec field, we would have a little more information that said, you know, use of the Curtis Rec Field and any of its facilities, the walking track, the basketball court, blah, 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 is at your own risk. So then that way, if someone trips, because we did have a woman get injured on the walking track last year or the year before, I think it was last year. So I just think we need to clarify any use of that is at your own risk.
Right.
And,
Yep.
and you know, dawn to dusk, police take notice, you know, please carry out your trash, things like that. So
No dog. Wasn't that I thought we said we weren't gonna allow dogs.
just in the playground. Not in the play, just, they're not allowed in the playground, they're allowed at the park. But someone told me, because I noticed on the warrant, there was this whole thing about dogs, but it's really dog license. But someone said to me, you know, dogs are supposed to be on a leash, and it's actually a state law, which I
Yeah.
didn't know. I don't know if we
Yeah.
want to say, you know,
We
dogs must be on leashes.
All
Yeah.
dogs must be leashed and clean up after your pet. You know,
Yeah.
because you get the people that just let their dog take a crap right in the middle of the freaking path, and
Is everyone comfortable with that? You clean up after yourself and your dogs, carry out
Yeah,
yours and
I
your
wish,
dog's
I wish
trash?
that was common sense, but it isn't anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have
Um,
to call it out. So yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Dave agrees.
Yep, I think we're all in favor on that one, Sanda.
okay. Okay, yeah, so I was just thinking like two bigger signs right at the main entrance that will have the, you know, a little more rules. But the other ones are just pretty simple, you know, carry out your trash, use this at your own risk.
Perfect. Yeah, we got to get those up.
Yeah, all right, and everyone's fine, I'll contact DFX graphics right here, he's right here, in Hubbardston. So, all right, so, and we can take that money, yeah, you know, and yeah, I'll figure out where we can take that money out of. So, I really think that's all I really had to ask. So what I'll do is I'll find out from the graphic sign guy when the signs will be available, because I don't think he's gonna go put them up for us. And maybe we can pick a day, once I find out when we're gonna get the signs, we can pick a day and put the shades up and the signs up all at once, and maybe we'll have a solar compactor at that time too, I'm not sure. But at least this should be probably put up before we kind of technically open the parks the middle of April.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right, so what I'll do is once I hear back from Dan, how long it's gonna take to get the signs, then we'll pick a day that we just go up there and do our own maintenance kind of thing.
Sounds good.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Anyone have anything else they want to add? No?
Nope.
So everyone's gonna watch the Bruins Montreal game tonight?
Absolutely.
Probably watching it already, Eric.
Oh, that's why you wanted to meet at 7, not 7:30.
Yeah. Other
Priority.
than that, priority, absolutely, yeah. Other than that, then we're all set for another month.
All right,
I'll let
great.
you- Yeah, I'll let you know when the signs come in. Jay, if you can let us know about what the big belly trash people say, that'd be helpful. Is that who you were talking to, right?
Yeah, big
And,
bad. Bruins are up 1-0. Sorry.
Already? Oh, that's good. Super duper. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell my husband that because he was DVR in the game waiting for me to be
Oh.
done with the meeting.
Oh, he's
So-
not. He's watching. I know he is.
Huh?
He's watching it. I'm sure he is.
Yeah, he's checking his phone, I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
So, all right, Dave, you have anything you want to say? You might have left.
No, I think you said close the meeting.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're motioning to close the meeting, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Captain.
No, Dave said aye.
Okay. Our meeting is adjourned at 7:38, and thank you all very much.